My spouse cheated with my best friend, and I'm lost. It was a Thursday evening, the kind that usually felt peaceful. I just finished folding laundry, humming along to a Spotify playlist while sunlight spilled through the blinds. My husband Mark was working late, again, and I'd texted my best friend, Clara, to see if she wanted to grab tacos. She canceled, saying she had a migraine. Funny, I thought, migraines were her go to excuse lately. I didn't think much of it until I found the receipt. It fell out of Mark's jacket when I was hanging it up. A $200 charge from the Oak Lounge, dated 2 nights ago. Weird. He told me he was at a team dinner, but the receipt was for 2 glasses of Merlot and a shared chocolate torte. My stomach twisted. Mark hated dessert. Clara, though, she'd order cake in a snowstorm. I tried to laugh it off. They're just friends, I told myself, like siblings. But then, I noticed his phone buzzing on the counter. He'd forgotten it, something he never did. The screen lit up with a notification. Clara Mark. Can't stop thinking about last night. The room tilted. I shouldn't have looked, but I typed in his passcode, our anniversary because he's that unoriginal, and scrolled. Messages filled the screen, flirtation, inside jokes about the team dinners they'd supposedly both been attending, plans to meet at a hotel tomorrow. Emojis I didn't recognize on his keyboard. Heart eyes, cherries, a winky face. I don't remember dropping the phone, just the sound of glass hitting tile, and then Mark's voice behind me. "Babe, have you seen my—" He froze. I turned, holding up the shattered device like evidence. "Migraine, huh?" I whispered. He didn't deny it. Just stood there, pale and wide-eyed, while I listed every lie. The late nights, the sudden gym sessions, Clara's distance from me. "How long?" I demanded. His silence was worse than an answer. 3 months. 3 months of them laughing at me over candlelit dinners I didn't know about. 3 months of her texting me heart emojis while wearing his cologne. My cologne. The one I'd bought him for Christmas. I screamed. I threw his favorite mug at the wall. He flinched but didn't move. "I'm sorry," he kept saying, robotic, like he'd rehearsed it. Sorry. The word felt like a bullet. Now I'm sitting in my car, parked at a 24-hour Walmart. I packed a bag but have nowhere to go. Clara was my emergency contact. My sister, practically. My phone won't stop ringing. Mark, Clara, my mom, who somehow already knows. Did he call her? Did Clara? I keep replaying memories. Clara holding my hand at my dad's funeral. Mark slow dancing with me in our kitchen last month, whispering, "You're my forever." Was he already with her then? Did they joke about me afterward? I want to burn their things. I want to beg him to fix this. I want to disappear. Instead, I'm here, typing this in a fluorescent-lit parking lot, trying not to imagine them together. But I do imagine it. Their hands, their whispers, the way he'd tug at his earlobe when he lied, a habit I'd always found endearing. A security guard taps my window. "Ma'am, you can't sleep here." I nod, tears smearing my glasses. Where do I go? To my mom's, where she'll say, "I told you he was too handsome"? To a motel where the walls will smell like strangers? I start the engine. The GPS glows. 2 options blink. Home and Clara's apartment. My finger hovers. TLDR. Caught my husband and best friend in a months-long affair. Now I'm alone in a Walmart parking lot, unsure if I should confront her or beg him to stay. Found my partner's secret trip with their ex. Trust shattered. It was one of those lazy Saturday mornings where the sunlight filtered through the curtains just right, casting warm stripes over the bed. I was in the kitchen brewing coffee, humming to a song stuck in my head, when my husband, Mark, shuffled in. He kissed my temple, mumbled something about errands, and left before his mug even cooled. Normal? Until it wasn't. The first red flag popped up a week later. Mark had been distant, texts left unread, date nights canceled for overtime. But that night, I noticed his phone glowing on the couch. He'd never been careless with it before. My stomach tightened as I glimpsed a notification. "Emily, Airbnb booked, see you Friday." Fingers in Hi Emily, his college girlfriend. The one he'd casually mentioned ran into him months ago at the gym. "We're just friends now," he'd assured me. I tried to shrug it off. Paranoia, right? But his scent lingered differently, a cologne he only wore on special occasions. Then, last Tuesday, he packed a suitcase. "Work conference in Chicago," he said, avoiding my eyes. the same city Emily's Instagram tagged her in 2 days prior. The betrayal hit at 11 p.m. that Friday. Alone, I opened his laptop to check our shared calendar. Instead, his email glared back at me, still logged in. There it was. A receipt for a romantic dinner cruise, a king-size bed reservation, and flight tickets dated 6 months back. 6 months. My knees buckled. They'd been planning this while he kissed me goodnight, while we've laughed about baby names, while I wore his hoodie like a promise. I called him. Straight to voicemail. Texts. Unanswered. I crumpled onto the floor, gasping like the air had turned to glass. The photo I found next shattered it completely, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her waist, taken last month at a brewery he'd gone to with the guys. When he finally came home Sunday, I couldn't speak. He froze, suitcase still in hand, guilt written in the slump of his shoulders. "It's not what you think," he began. But I was already screaming, raw, guttural sounds I didn't recognize. He claimed they reconnected as friends, that the trip was a mistake, that he loved me. But the damning evidence played on loop. Her laughter in a voicemail, the way he'd whispered, "I miss you," in a text. Now I'm typing this from our guest room, his pleading echoing through the walls. He says he'll cut her off, that we can fix this. But how? Every memory feels like a lie. I keep staring at the suitcase he's repacking for a work trip tomorrow. Or is it? TLDR, discovered my husband's months-long affair and secret vacation with his ex. Now I'm drowning in doubt and don't know if our marriage can survive. Found my fiancé cheating with my best friend of a decade. Opening. I was sitting cross-legged on the living room floor surrounded by wedding invitations. The scent of lavender from the candle on the coffee table usually calmed me, but today I just felt distracted. My fiancé Ryan had been working late again, and my best friend Lena had canceled our lunch plans again. She'd texted, "Migraine, rain check?" But something about the way she'd been dodging my calls all week made my stomach twist. Still, I shook it off. Ryan and Lena had been my constants for 10 years. They'd never give me a reason to doubt them, right? Build up. The red flags started small. Ryan's cologne, a woodsy scent I'd picked for him, lingered on his collar even after his showers. He blamed it on gym clothes piling up. Then there was the night he fell asleep on the couch, phone still in hand. When I tried to move it, he jolted awake, snatching it away with a nervous laugh. "Work stuff," he'd said. Work stuff. The same 2 words he used when he came home at midnight last Thursday, eyes avoiding mine. Lena was quieter. She stopped laughing at my inside jokes. When I showed her my wedding dress, she didn't cry, like I'd expected. Instead, she said, "It's nice," and changed the subject to her new yoga class. Yoga, that's when I noticed the matching mat in Ryan's trunk. But denial is a warm, heavy blanket. I wrap myself in it. Betrayal moment. Yesterday, I left work early with a fever. Our apartment was empty, but Ryan's car wasn't at the office. I called Lena. No answer. My throat burned as I drove to her place, telling myself I was being paranoid. Her porch light was on. So was Ryan's Audi. I stood frozen on the sidewalk, keys digging into my palm. The bedroom curtains were cracked just enough. I didn't want to look, but I did. They weren't undressed, not fully, but Lena's head was on his shoulder, his fingers tangled in her hair. Their laughter seeped through the window, sharp and intimate. I'd heard that laugh before, from both of them, but never together. My vision blurred as I fumbled for my phone. Me. Where are you? Ryan, 2 minutes later. Still at work. Super swamped. Love you. Something cracked. Maybe it was my heart. Maybe it was the sound of Lena's front door slamming open when I stormed in. They scrambled apart, guilt twisting their faces into strangers. Ryan stammered my name. Lena reached for me, tears in her eyes. I didn't stay to listen. Emotional fallout. Now I'm at my sister's wearing yesterday's clothes. Ryan's blown up my phone. "Please let me explain. It was a mistake. We've been so stressed with the wedding." Lena sent one message. "I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you." I keep replaying it. The way they fit together, the ease of it. How many times had they lied? Did they hold hands at coffee shops we all used to go to? Did they mock me while I gushed about venues? My sister made me tea I won't drink. She says I should expose them, cancel the wedding, scream into the void, but I'm just numb. The invitations are still on my floor. The lavender candles probably burned out. Cliffhanger. Ryan's mom just called. The caterer needs a final head count. TLDR. planned my dream wedding only to catch my fiancé and decade-long best friend in bed together. Now I'm hiding at my sister's, staring at a non-refundable deposit and wondering if love is just a lie people agree to believe. Partner cheated with my best friend. How to move on. I was making coffee when his tablet buzzed on the kitchen counter. The sound was gentle, almost polite, but it made my stomach drop anyway. James had been distant for weeks, coming home late from work dinners, flipping his phone face down when I walked into the room. I told myself it was stress. He'd just gotten promoted and his team was swamped. But that morning, as I reached to pause the Bluetooth speaker I'd been using to play music, the screen lit up with a notification. Miss you already, Mia. Mia, my best friend. The one who'd slept on our couch after her breakup last year, who'd held my hand at my mom's funeral, who joked about being our future freeloading aunt to the kids we planned to have. My hands shook as I tapped the message. The thread was a gut punch. Flirty jokes, deleted photos I couldn't see, a hotel reservation from 2 weekends ago when James had claimed he was at a conference. I read the words, last night was, expletive, perfect, before the tablet slipped from my hands and clattered onto the tile. The signs were there. I'd ignored them. Like how Mia had canceled our last 3 coffee dates with vague excuses, or how James had started wearing cologne again after years of complaining it was too corporate. 2 months ago, I'd found a receipt for lingerie in his gym bag, too small to be mine. When I'd confronted him, he'd laughed nervously. Secret Santa gift for my assistant. Didn't want you to think it was weird. I'd believed him. Why wouldn't I? Now, crouched on the floor, I scrolled further. They'd been meeting up for months. Birthday messages filled with inside jokes I didn't recognize. Photos of Mia in his car, her head on his shoulder, dates to our favorite sushi spot. I dry heaved into the sink. James walked in an hour later, whistling. He froze when he saw me clutching his tablet, my nails digging into the case. Baby, I can explain. Don't, I whispered. There was no rage, no screaming, just a strange, hollow calm. I packed a suitcase while he trailed behind me, pleading. It just happened. We were both lonely. It didn't mean anything. When had Mia ever been lonely? She'd been here, in our home, eating my cooking, while I poured my heart out about feeling disconnected from James. I drove to a cheap motel, booked a room, and sat on the scratchy bedspread, staring at my wedding ring. Mia's name blinked on my phone, 17 missed calls. I blocked her. That was 3 weeks ago. Friends be telling me to focus on healing. But how? I've lost my husband and my sister of choice. I replay every memory, searching for clues. The way Mia hugged him a beat too long at Christmas. How James started calling her a catch whenever she dated someone new. I can't eat. Can't sleep. I threw up my therapist's kale smoothie this morning because it tasted like the green tea Mia used to bring me. Yesterday, I caved and unblocked her. Her text was immediate. I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Can we talk? I didn't reply. James sent flowers to my office. Roses, my least favorite. The card said, let's fix this. I want to scream. I want to burn every photo of the 3 of us. Instead, I sit here typing this, wondering if forgiveness is weakness or survival. TLDR, husband and best friend had an affair. Now I'm alone in a motel, debating whether forgiveness is worth the pain. Found out my fiancé has been texting her ex behind my back. I was kneading cookie dough on the countertop when Lena's phone buzzed for the 3rd time in 5 minutes. The smell of vanilla and cinnamon hung in the air, our apartment cozy with twinkle lights and the faint hum of a piano playlist she'd queued up. You gonna get that? I called over my shoulder, flour dusting my wrists. Work stuff, she said quickly, thumb already swiping. Her voice was too breezy, just Marcus needing another favor. Marcus, her coworker, the one whose name had peppered her stories lately. Late nights at the office, coffee runs, inside jokes that made her laugh but never got retold to me. I shoved the dough into the oven, heat prickling my face. The first red flag was the screen. 3 weeks ago, I'd leaned over to kiss her cheek while she scrolled Instagram. She jerked the phone away like I'd burned her. Privacy, Alex. She'd snapped, then softened. Sorry, work stress. But yesterday, when her phone lit up on the coffee table during the Great British Bake Off, I saw it. A message preview from Ethan, not Marcus. Miss your laugh. Still think about that night and the text vanished as the screen timed out. My throat went dry. Ethan was her college ex, the one she'd called a chapter I'm glad is closed when we got engaged. Tonight, while she showered, I broke. Her phone glowed on the nightstand, unlocked. My hands shook as I opened her messages. Ethan, I know I messed up, but seeing you again, it's like no time passed. Lena, I shouldn't be doing this. Ethan, you still wear the necklace I gave you? Lena, sometimes. There were photos. A selfie of her in her blouse from date night last week, the moonstone pendant, her something blue for our wedding, gleaming at her collarbone. Another of Ethan, shirtless, captioned, "Remember this?" I gagged. The bathroom faucet shut off. "You promised you'd blocked him," I hissed, phone thrust in her face. Water dripped from her hair onto the screen, blurring Ethan's smirk. She paled. "It's not what it looks like. He reached out and I was just being nice." "Nice? You're sending him expletive photos in the same necklace you swore was ours." Her silence was a knife. I yanked the chain off my neck, the clasp catching strands of hair. Were you ever going to stop? Or was our whole life just practice until he came back? Alex, wait. I grabbed my keys. Rain soaked through my hoodie as I sped away, our half-baked cookies charring in the oven. Now I'm on my best friend's couch, clutching a lukewarm coffee. My ring sits heavy in my pocket. Lena's blown up my phone. "Please let me explain. I love you. It didn't mean anything." But it did. When she kissed me last week, was she thinking of him? Was every I do rehearsal a lie? My friend says I should hear her out. My gut says run. I keep reopening the photos, her smile, brighter with him than it's been with me in months. The worst part? I still want to believe her. TLDR. Caught fiancé in an emotional affair with her ex. Now torn between giving her a second chance or walking away. Caught my partner and best friend in a secret affair. I was halfway through tossing a salad when Mark's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Normally, I wouldn't glance at it, but he'd been acting off for weeks, staying late at work, forgetting our inside jokes, shrugging away from my touch. The screen lit up with a notification. "Sarah, can't wait to see you tonight." My stomach dropped. Sarah was my college roommate, the one who'd held my hair back after too many tequila shots and sobbed with me when I miscarried last year. She'd been distant lately, too, canceling our weekly coffee dates with vague excuses. Work deadline, she'd say. But her Instagram showed brunch pics with friends I didn't recognize. I swiped the phone open. His password was still our anniversary. Their messages were a gut punch. Her. "I miss your laugh." Him. "Meet me at your place at 7. Her. "What if she finds out?" Him. "She'll never suspect you." The salad bowl slipped from my hands. Cherry tomatoes rolled across the floor like tiny bombs. I drove to Sarah's apartment in a daze, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. Rain slapped the windshield, blurring the street lights into smears of gold. Maybe it's a misunderstanding, I lied to myself. Maybe they're planning a surprise for me. Her porch light was on. Through the fogged-up kitchen window, I saw them. Mark's hand brushed her cheek, her fingers tangling in his hair. They leaned into each other, laughing the way he used to laugh at my jokes. My lungs forgot how to breathe. I don't remember pounding on the door. Don't remember screaming. Just the way they froze, like actors caught mid-scene. Sarah's voice cracked. "It's not what you think. How long?" I demanded. Mark stared at the floor, his wedding band glinting guiltily. 3 months, he muttered. The world tilted. 3 months ago, he'd held me in the ER after the miscarriage. 3 months ago, Sarah brought me soup and told me I'd be a mom someday. I've been at a motel for 3 days. My hands won't stop shaking. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. Tangled limbs, shared secrets, the life they stole from me. Mark keeps calling. Texts pile up. "I'm sorry. It meant nothing. Let's talk." Sarah sent a novel-length apology, but I deleted it unread. The worst part? I still love him. Or the ghost of who he was. I keep replaying our first date, that dumb magic trick he did with a napkin to make me smile. Now I'm just empty. Last night, I drove past our house. His car wasn't there. I don't know where he is. Don't know if I want to. TLDR, walked in on my husband and best friend mid-affair. Now I'm numb, homeless, and questioning every memory we ever shared. Caught my fiancé in bed with my best friend last night. I was on cloud nine yesterday morning. 6 months until the wedding, and everything felt perfect. I just picked up our favorite takeout, garlic noodles from that little Thai spot we obsessed over, and texted Jake, my fiancé, that I'd be home early. He replied with a heart emoji and can't wait to see you. I even grabbed the bottle of sparkling cider to celebrate finally booking our venue. But when I got home, his car wasn't in the driveway. Odd. He said he'd be working from home all day. Our golden retriever, Biscuit, greeted me in the garage, whining and pawing at my legs like something was wrong. "Hey, buddy, where's Dad?" I asked, ruffling his fur. He nudged me toward the stairs instead of his food bowl. My stomach flipped, but I shook it off. Don't be paranoid. Upstairs, the bedroom door was cracked open. I heard a muffled laugh, her laugh, the one I'd known since freshman year of college, the one that had talked me through panic attacks and breakups, my best friend, Clara, the matron of honor for our wedding. I pushed the door open. There they were, tangled in our sheets, in our bed, under the fairy lights I'd hung for romantic nights in. Clara's blouse, the blue one I'd complimented her on last week, was draped over the chair Jake proposed in. The room smelled like vanilla and sweat. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just froze. Jake scrambled upright, his face pale. "Babe, wait, it's not what it—" Clara pulled the blanket over herself. Oh my God. Expletive. I backed into the hallway, clutching the takeout bag until the noodles spilled everywhere. Biscuit barked, frantic. Jake lunged for me, but I bolted. I don't even remember grabbing my keys or driving to my sister's apartment. The signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. 2 weeks ago, Jake started working late constantly. He'd come home smelling like soap, as if he'd showered at the office. When I joked about it, he said the gym was his new stress relief. I believed him. Clara had been weird too. She canceled our last 3 coffee dates, claiming migraines. When I FaceTimed her, she'd stare at her nails or the ceiling, avoiding eye contact. "Wedding stress," she'd said. "You're marrying my best guy friend. It's just surreal." I laughed. The night before it happened, Jake scrolled through his phone with this tense smile, tilting the screen away. I kissed his shoulder and said, "You're stuck with me forever, you know." He didn't laugh. Now, at my sister's couch, I'm replaying every lie. My hands won't stop shaking. My sister handed me a glass of water an hour ago. It's still full. Jake's blown up my phone. "Please let me explain. It was a mistake. I love you." Clara sent one message. "I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you." Then why? We were supposed to be family. She helped me pick my wedding dress. He taught her how to grill salmon because she wanted to impress her dates. I joked they'd make a cute couple. God. Biscuit's curled up at my feet, whining. I didn't even realize I'd brought him until we were halfway here. The worst part? Part of me still wants to believe him. What if it was a one-time thing? What if he's sorry? What if I'm throwing away 5 years over a mistake? But then I see Clara's face, guilty but not surprised, like she'd rehearsed this. How many times did they joke about me taking too long in the shower or working too hard? Was I just the naive chore they tolerated to keep their secret? My sister says I should block them both. My mom wants me to fight for my relationship. I don't know what to do. The venue's non-refundable deposit was $5,000. Our dog thinks I've kidnapped him. I can't eat, can't sleep. I keep staring at the engagement ring, a pear-shaped diamond he spent 6 months saving for. When I close my eyes, I see them. In our bed, laughing. Tyresis TLDR. Walked in on fiancé and best friend together, now drowning in doubt and takeout noodles at my sister's.